The great way is not difficult for those not attached to preferences. When neither love nor hate arises, all is clear and undisguised. Separate by the smallest amount, however, and you are as far from it as heaven is from earth. If you wish to know the truth, then hold on to no opinions for or against anything. To set up what you like against what you dislike is the disease of the mind. When the fundamental nature of things is not recognized, the mind's essential peace is disturbed to no avail. The way is perfect, as vast space is perfect, where nothing is lacking and nothing is in excess. Indeed, it is due to our grasping and rejecting that we do not know the true nature of things. Live neither in the entanglements of outer things, nor in ideas or feelings of emptiness. Be serene and at one with things, and erroneous views will disappear by themselves. When you try to stop activity to achieve quietude, your very effort fills you with activity. So long as you remain attached to one extreme or another, you will never know oneness. Those who do not live in the single way cannot be free in either activity or quietude, in assertion or denial. Deny the reality of things and you miss their reality. Assert the emptiness of things and you miss their reality. The more you talk and think about it, the further you wander from the truth. So cease attachment to talking and thinking, and there is nothing you will not be able to know. To return to the root is to find the essence, but to pursue appearances or enlightenment is to miss the source. To awaken, even for a moment, is to go beyond appearance and emptiness. Changes that seem to occur in the empty world we make real only because of our ignorance. Do not seek for the truth, only cease to cherish opinions. Do not remain in a dualistic state. Avoid such easy habits carefully. If you attach even to a trace of this or that, right and wrong, mind essence will be lost in confusion. Although all dualities arise from the one, do not be attached even to ideas of this one. When the mind exists undisturbed in the way, there is no objection to anything in the world. And when there is no objection to anything, things cease to be in the old way. When no discriminating attachment arises, the old mind ceases to exist. Let go of things as separate existences, and mind too vanishes. Likewise, when the thinking subject vanishes, so too do the objects created by mind. The arising of others gives rise to self. Giving rise to self generates others. Know these seeming two as facets of the one fundamental reality. In this emptiness, these two are really one, and each contains all phenomena. If not comparing nor attached to refined and vulgar, you will not fall into a judgment and opinion. The great way is embracing and spacious. To live in it is neither easy nor difficult. Those who rely on limited views are fearful and irresolute. The faster they hurry, the slower they go. To have a narrow mind and to be attached to getting enlightenment is to lose one's center and go astray. When one is free from attachment, all things are as they are, and there is neither coming nor going. When in harmony with the nature of things, your own fundamental nature, you will walk freely and undisturbed. However, when mind is in bondage, the truth is hidden, and everything is murky and unclear, and the burdensome practice of judging brings annoyance and weariness. What benefit can be derived from attachment to distinctions and separations? If you wish to move in the one way, do not dislike the worlds of senses and ideas. Indeed, to embrace them fully is identical with true enlightenment. The wise person attaches to no goals, but the foolish person fetters himself or herself. There is one Dharma without differentiation. Distinctions arise from the clinging needs of the ignorant. To seek mind with the discriminating mind is the greatest of mistakes. Rest and unrest derived from illusion. With enlightenment, attachment to liking and disliking ceases. All dualities come from ignorant inference. They are like dreams, phantoms, hallucinations. It is foolish to try to grasp them. Gain and loss, right and wrong. Finally, abandon all such thoughts at once. If the eye never sleeps, all dreams will naturally cease. If the mind makes no discriminations, the 10,000 things are as they are, of single essence. To realize the mystery of this one essence is to be released from all entanglements. When all things are seen without differentiation, the one self-essence is everywhere revealed. No comparisons or analogies are possible in this causeless, relationless state of just the one. When movement stops, there is no movement, and when no movement, there is no stopping. When such dualities cease to exist, oneness itself cannot exist. To this ultimate state, no law or description applies. For the realized mind at one with the way, all self-centered striving ceases. Doubts and irresolutions vanish, and the truth is confirmed in you. With a single stroke, you are freed from bondage. Nothing clings to you, and you hold to nothing. All is empty, clear, self-illuminating, with no need to exert the mind. Here, thinking, feeling, understanding, and imagination are of no value. In this world as it really is, there is neither self nor other than self. To know this reality directly is possible only through practicing non-duality. When you live this non-separation, all things manifest the one, and nothing is excluded. Whoever comes to enlightenment, no matter when or where, realizes personally this fundamental source. This Dharma truth has nothing to do with big or small, with time and space. Here, a single thought is as 10,000 years, not here, not there, but everywhere, always right before your eyes, infinitely large and infinitely small, no difference, for definitions are irrelevant, and no boundaries can be discerned. So likewise with existence and non-existence. Don't waste your time in arguments and discussion, attempting to grasp the ungraspable. Each thing reveals the one manifests as all things. To live in this realization is not to worry about perfection or non-perfection. To put your trust in the heart mind is to live without separation. My apologies. And in this non-duality, you are one with your life's source. Words, words, the way is beyond language. For in it there is no yesterday, no tomorrow, no today. Thanks, everyone. We will now observe noble silence until the start of service.
This time I'd like to invite the incense lighter to the altar. As we recite the incense lighting gatha on page 2 of your books. In gratitude, we offer this incense throughout space and time to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May it be fragrant as earth herself, reflecting careful efforts, wholehearted awareness, and the fruit of understanding slowly ripening. May we and all beings be companions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May we awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true home. And we bow. Morning, Sangha. My name is Upaya, and I'm a Dharma teacher intern here at the temple. Before we start service, I'd like to go through some service courtesy announcements. That we have a community room downstairs for families with small children or anybody who needs a break. There's bins of toys down there and water and things. There are 2 restrooms that are through those curtains right there, and then also one downstairs. If you need to walk and get about, to try to walk through the back of the Dharma hall versus the front to avoid blocking the view in the camera. The Buddha taught that you can sit there or sit in a chair. Yeah, feel free. The Buddha did teach joy as an important part of the path of awakening. So when we recite our verses and our gathas and our sutras, let's recite them with an upbeat and joyful tempo. You might have noticed that the doors are open because, well, the air conditioner is offline. And of course, it starts in the summer, right? So whenever I'm kind of like hot and uncomfortable, I think back to the Buddha's original Sangha. That they're sitting, it's 100 degrees in the shade, it's 100% humidity, and they're getting eaten alive by biting insects, right? So in the tropical jungle of India, so I think of it, well, this isn't that bad, right? Okay. So we're going to start with a bow. We'll greet each other silently. Start by reciting the 3 refuges, which one is refuge to Buddha, my deeply awakened mind, living source of understanding and compassion, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to Dharma, for the path of mindful living, leading to healing, joy, and enlightenment, the way of peace, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to the Sangha, a loving and supportive community of practice, realizing harmony, awareness, and liberation, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I am aware that the 3 jewels are within my heart. I vow to realize them. I vow to practice mindful breathing and smiling, looking deeply into things. I vow to understand living beings and their suffering. I vow to cultivate loving kindness and compassion, and practice joy and equanimity. I vow to offer joy to one person in the morning, and to help relieve the grief of one person in the afternoon. I vow to live simply and insanely, content with few possessions, and to keep my body healthy. I vow to let go of all worry and anxiety in order to be light and free. I am aware that I owe so much to my parents, teachers, friends, and all beings. I vow to be worthy of their trust, to practice wholeheartedly, so that understanding and compassion will flower, and I can help living beings be free from their suffering. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha
support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts.
And we bow. And on the next page, slightly more.
From the deep practice of prajna, paramita, receive the emptiness of all five skandhas, and deliver all beings from their suffering. O Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is emptiness, emptiness form. The same is true of feeling, thought, impulse, and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They are not born nor annihilated. They are not defiled nor immaculate. They do not increase nor decrease. So in emptiness, no form, no feeling, no thought, no impulse, no consciousness. No eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. No form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or objects of mind. No realm of sight, no realm of consciousness. No ignorance, nor extinction of ignorance. No old age and death, nor extinction of them. No suffering, no cause of suffering. No cease from suffering, no path to lead out of suffering. No knowledge, no attainment, no realization, for there is nothing to attain. Bodhisattva, hold on to nothing but prajna, paramita. Therefore the mind is clear of any delusive hindrance. Without hindrance there is no fear. Away from all delusive views, one reaches final nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future, through faith in prajna, paramita, attain to the highest perfect enlightenment. Know then the prajna, paramita, is the great Dharani, the radiant, fearless mantra, the utmost supreme mantra, which is capable of allaying all pain. This is true beyond all doubt. Proclaim now the highest wisdom, the prajna, paramita. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisattva.
Morning, Sangha. Again. So the theme of the talk today is taking care of anger. Pretty topical. So who's been angry this week, in the last week? Who's been angry today? So giving this talk, I wanted to be able to say yes to this. And considering I have a 40-minute drive from Fenville to Grand Rapids, I shouldn't have worried. So I'm like, okay, well, so where does anger come from? Well, I'm driving down the highway in the fast lane with the cruise control set at 79 miles an hour, because that's what you do on I-96. And I look over in a slow lane and I see like a whole line of semis there. And behind the line of semis is this little Kia kind of keeping pace. And so by the time I rounded the turn, I see the little Kia there. It's like, oh, I guess the little Kia is happy following all the trucks. Okay, great. So I start to pass and, well, of course not. So the Kia takes that moment to cut off this giant F-150. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of expecting this to happen. And so, okay, so I got a flash of anger. It's not an emergency or anything. So I can tap the brakes and slow down. But I'm like, oh, I really want to ride up on their bumper. I'm kind of pissed off. Right? I'm like, no. I was like, wait a minute, what's the talk of my talk today? Taking care of anger? Like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I just back off. And still, I mean, I had to pump the brakes. So I was still like two car lengths behind the little Kia. And it never noticed me, never looked up, never saw me, just passed beyond the trucks and went back, and I got on my way. So that's like a flash of anger. You have lots of opportunities during the day to deal with this kind of thing. So what I want to talk about is, where does anger come from? Where does it come? Where does it go to? And what are the different ways you can handle it, right? So first place to go is, what are the teachings on anger? Or are there teachings? It's like, well, yeah, a lot of them, right? So I gave a handout of quotes. And I think I'll start at the Dhammapada. Now, the Dhammapada is a lengthy list of aphorisms, of these little pithy sayings, and it comes from early Buddhism. So I think of it as a distillation of teachings, kind of a summary of a summary. So first ones I'll start with is guarding against anger. Guard against anger erupting in your body. Be restrained with your body. Letting go of bodily misconduct. Practice good conduct with your body. Guard against anger erupting in your speech. Be restrained with your speech. Letting go of verbal misconduct. Practice good conduct with your speech. Guard against anger erupting in your mind. Be restrained with your mind. Letting go of mental misconduct. Practice good conduct with your mind. Yeah, they're a little repetitive. And lastly, the wise are restrained in body, restrained in speech. The wise are restrained in mind. They're fully restrained. So what is it really talking about? Is it talking about suppressing and burying your anger whenever it shows up? No. That's not what this is about. This is when the anger comes, you recognize it, experience it, but you don't act on it. That's what they're pointing to. Right. So there's many different kinds of anger. And today I'll be talking about three. The first is these little flashes of anger. Somebody cuts you off. Somebody does something you don't like, right? The air conditioning isn't working. Right? Flash of anger, right? And the second thing is like resentment. Resentment, it's not like one, you don't have like instant resentment for something. It's like things happen over time and kind of like accumulate. That's resentment. And the third one is like personal hatred, right? Like hating an individual person. Now, there are lots of other ones I'll talk about at a different time. So what does the Dhammapada have to say about, well, resentment and hatred? He abused me. He attacked me. He defeated me. He robbed me. Well, for those carrying on like this, hatred does not end. So if you nurse this resentment, then it's never going to go away. You're feeding it. Another one is hatred never ends through hatred. By non-hatred alone does it end. This is an ancient truth. I'm saying ancient truth, and this was written like 2,500 years ago. So this has been around a while. So, and lastly, there's Dhammapada 197, which is, so happily we live without hatred among those who hate. Among people who hate, we live without hate. So this not letting things get to the point of resentment and hate is not hate. It's not only good for the people around you because you're not lashing out at them, but it's good for you too. It's one of the Bodhisattva vows, that do not hold on to hatred, or you will destroy your seed of happiness. Therefore, you won't be able to follow the Bodhisattva path. So this is some things from the Dhammapada. So some other teachings are that emotions like thoughts come and go. You're sitting in meditation, you'll have a thought, it'll come, it'll go. You have an emotion, happiness, joy, anger, whatever it is. And I've seen study that says that they'll come and go within about 90 seconds, unless you feed it. If you feed it with thoughts and if you feed it with a narrative, then it's like, oh, I see a little campfire. You're throwing wood on this fire. You are nurturing it. You are sustaining it. Right. Otherwise, it just comes and goes. And we practice that in meditation. That these things, these thoughts and feelings, they're very real and you should experience them, but they do come and go and they're kind of insubstantial unless you make them substantial and you act on them. And the more you act on it, the more it becomes an ingrained habit. Ingrained habit in your action, in your mind, and you're watering this particular seed of karma too. So anger also arises from judgment. That, oh, that car shouldn't have cut me off. They should have been paying attention. They should have looked, right? Right. And so now I'm instantly judging, right? I should be treated this way. I should be treated that way. Some things shouldn't happen, right? So the first story, getting away from the traffic, which is a great way to practice, right? Talk about practicing all day, every day. If you have a daily commute, it's a great way to practice. But also, what are you really getting angry at? You're getting angry at a person because you figure that they're choosing to act badly, and they're 100% choosing to act in a way just to piss you off, right? But it's not always true. I mean, it's not just a person doing something. I get angry at events. Like we had a storm go through about 2 weeks ago, and it knocked down a tree onto the lawn. And so I go walk around the yard, and I'm getting angry. What am I getting angry at? Getting angry at the tree. The tree didn't choose the fall. Getting angry at the wind and the storm. Oh yeah, it's like the old man shaking his fist at the sky, yelling at the clouds. Right? It's bad weather, and then it's really, what are you getting angry at? The anger is coming from within because something happened that you didn't like, that I personally didn't like. There are other kinds of anger too. I talked about resentment, and we've all had bad bosses, right? Time for some bad boss stories. So the boss does something like blows off a meeting. Okay, well, that happens. Or doesn't show up, or makes you work Friday night, or expects you to come in on the shift that you told me already you took the day off. I mean, that's kind of like little incidents of things that you can kind of deal with and let go. But then there are things like resentment that builds up over time. Like, this guy always criticizes me, and he criticizes me in public pretty much every chance he gets. So this is where the resentment comes, that it's a little flash of things, and you can let it go, even if you're trying not to feed it with emotion, feed it with a story. But it ratchets up. that if it's especially of the same person or the same situation, you get angry and it goes back down, but it never goes back down to zero. And it slowly starts to ratchet up over weeks, days, months, years. And it becomes kind of this cold, burning resentment, and sometimes not so cold. So how do you deal with that? It's letting go of the anger and trying to get back down to zero. Or have you really completely let go of it? Because if not, it's going to keep ratcheting up. So somebody keeps doing that, right? The boss keeps doing that, keeps blowing you off, or criticizing me in public, then it's like, okay, my boss is a jerk. So there comes a judgment, right? There's a pattern of behavior, a series of incidents. Then there's judgment. And then once you've made that judgment, my boss is a jerk, then you're feeding it. Now you have a narrative, and everything that they do fits into that my boss is a jerk thing, right? How is he going to be a jerk today? You show up in the morning. It's like, oh, like a bingo card. Now, but then it gets to the point that resentment can harden into real hatred and hostility. So the same guy who was criticizing me in public, this is years ago, I've been busting my butt all year. Then I go into performance review, and the guy gives me a bad performance review, blaming me for a bunch of bad decisions that he himself had made. Right? You ever seen that before? So because of that, he demotes me, and then, oh, by the way, doubles my workload. I'm like, seriously? I got a bad performance review, therefore you're giving me more work. And so that my boss is a jerk just got turned into hatred of my boss is an evil bastard. I hope he gets hit by a bus. Right. So all of a sudden, that's now actual personal hatred, right, that you feed. Well, yeah, I guess he was trying to motivate me to do something. Well, he motivated me to find a different job. But that's the flashes of hatred, right? And well, how do you deal with that? How do you really are there teachings that really say how do you take care of all this different kinds of anger? Right? The one that I like, and it's in the handout, is there are 14 mindfulness trainings from Thich Nhat Hanh's Plum Village tradition. Now, we use the 5 mindfulness trainings at the temple, and these are 5 mindfulness trainings that correspond to the five basic precepts. Do not kill, do not steal, do not engage in sexual misconduct, be responsible, don't lie, and the rest. So those are those 5. There are 14 that go along with the 4 bodhisattva vows that we recite at the end of every service. And then there are the bodhisattva precepts. So if we took those things, you remix them into 14 mindfulness trainings, which are something similar to the 5 mindfulness trainings. So he actually has a specific one called mindfulness training number 6. It is taking care of anger. So I'll read this, and then we can walk through it. Aware that anger blocks communication and creates suffering, we are committed to taking care of the energy of anger when it arises, and to recognizing and transforming the seeds of anger that lie deep in our consciousness. When anger manifests, we determine not to do or say anything, but to practice mindful breathing or mindful walking to acknowledge, embrace, and look deeply into our anger. We know that the roots of anger are not outside ourselves, but can be found in our wrong perceptions and lack of understanding of the suffering in ourselves and others. By contemplating impermanence, we'll be able to look with the eyes of compassion at ourselves and at those we think are the cause of our anger, and to recognize the preciousness of our relationships. We will practice right diligence in order to nourish our capacity for understanding, love, joy, and inclusiveness, gradually transforming our anger, violence, and fear, and helping others do the same. And this really addresses the whole full spectrum of the flashes of anger, the burning resentment and hatred too. So let's take a look at this kind of line by line, read it a little closer. Right. So the first line is, Aware that anger blocks communication and creates suffering, we're committed to taking care of the energy of anger when it arises, and recognizing and transforming the seeds of anger that lie deep in our consciousness. So anger focuses on the self, right? I'm angry. You made me angry. This is why I'm angry. Something happened I didn't like. You're deliberately trying to piss me off. So it's focused on self. And when you're focused on self, you're not listening to the other person, not trying to understand them. You're wrapped up in your anger, and then you begin, what happens next? Well, you begin to lash out in some way. Right. So anger blocks communication and creates suffering because of that. And then it's to recognize, the first practice is really recognizing when you're getting angry, and then committing to, okay, I realize I'm getting angry, I'm going to do something about this. I'm going to handle this in a more skillful way. And that's recognizing the seeds of anger. Why is this making me angry? Why do I have this button? And a commitment to rooting it out. Once you understand it, then you can think of ways to diffuse it or disarm it. The next line is, when anger manifests, we are determined not to do or say anything, but practice mindful breathing or walking to acknowledge, embrace, and look deeply into our anger. What this talks to is, this is the pause. This is the mindful pause when you realize you're getting agitated or action. Before you speak or do anything, before you lash out, take a break. It could be 1 breath, 3 breaths. If you're really getting, it's like, okay, I need to say to whoever you're arguing with, I need a break. Let me take 5 minutes. Let's get back together with this. This is the mindful, because it's trying to put that pause and to break that hard habit of I'm angry and you immediately act on it, which is not easy. Right? I'm not going to give you my batting average, but it's not 500% yet. The next one is, we know that the roots of anger are not outside ourselves, but can be found in our wrong perceptions and lack of understanding of the suffering in ourselves and others. So, is anger external? The causes of anger external or internal? Let's say if there is an external and internal for now. Is it internal or external? Well, something happens and like you made me angry, or the tree falls and I got angry, or whatnot. So it seems that it's a lot of externalness. But let me give you this example. Let's say that you got some friends over and you're watching a game. So it's Lions versus Green Bay, right? So you got 3 for you. One's a Lions fan, one's a Packers fan, and then one's a soccer fan. All right, so you're watching this game, and people are in the same moment watching the same thing happening in real time but having wildly different reactions to what's going on. The ref makes a call. Was it accurate, not accurate? One guy gets enraged, throws a beer bottle at the TV set. Right. Another guy jumps up and down and is joyful. The soccer fan is like, couldn't care less. Right, I'm bored. Right? Yeah, I don't know what's going on, I'm bored. So the same thing is happening at the same time. So are you really going to tell me that the causes of anger are entirely external? No, they're not. Well, is it internal? Yeah, it comes from your reaction. Something happens, usually something happens. You usually don't get angry just sitting around doing nothing. Something happens, and then you have a response. And a lot of the times the response is anger, because the way that you're judging the situation. So what it says is, can be, the roots of anger can be found in our wrong perceptions and lack of understanding of the suffering, right? So when somebody cut me off, it's like, maybe they had a reason to do that, right? Or not. So it's your whole judgment, whether you're angry or not, can change based on your interpretation of the situation. Then I say, okay, well, it's actually a woman who's got a car full of kids, and they're just like, okay, so I'm not going to be angry with that, because it's just living with that distraction, having kids in the car. Many causes and conditions. So it's looking at what is really generating this. What is the underlying root of all your life experience or whatnot? The next line is, by contemplating impermanence, we'll be able to look with the eyes of compassion at ourselves and others and those we think are the cause of our anger and recognize the preciousness of our relationships. So this is doing the pause, giving a little break, and versus reacting immediately with anger, taking the pause and thinking compassionately about, well, what's actually going on? You know, somebody seems to be attacking me without any reason whatsoever. Well, what else? Something else may be going on with this. Obviously, I didn't do anything worthy of anger. Right? So it's looking at yourself and looking at others to try to treat that with more compassion. And that's one way of helping to diffuse it. And also, you know, whenever you're arguing with somebody, keep in mind, it's good to keep in mind the relationship, right? Are you helping? Are you harming? And it's kind of like puts a governor on that. For relationships that are important, it's like, are you damaging it or are you not damaging it? By acting on anger, you can easily damage relationships, and it takes a long time to come back from that. If you're feeling resentment at a family member for what they've done, or your reaction to what they've done over the course of years or decades, yeah, that's going to be harder to diffuse. And the last line of this talks about right diligence. We will practice right diligence in order to nourish our capacity for understanding love, joy, and inclusiveness, gradually transforming our anger, violence, and fear, and helping others do the same. So this is a reference to the practice of right diligence. Right diligence means taking the time for meditation to be able to deal with things that arises, the emotions, the thoughts, being able to deal with them and let them go, to create that pause so you don't lash out in anger. And also, right diligence is trying to do this not just on the cushion, but throughout your life, throughout the daily life. You're driving, kids, watching the game, reading the news. That's the subject for another day. But you're reading things and like things are spiking my anger, right? Realizing when that's happening and process and deal with it. Because by practicing meditation, the precepts, and living the Dharma, you'll be able to do exactly that, to develop these qualities of understanding love, joy, and inclusiveness, the Brahma Viharas, the refuges. And the more you do that, it kind of like lances the boil and slowly starts to drain out that anger, and especially the hatred, the personal hatred, and the resentment. So we can get started on that right now. That thinking of things, that emotions as they come and go, especially negative ones like anger. So prepare yourselves for meditation. First, take your seat. Feel the connection of your feet, of your sit bones, with the chair, with the cushion, to the earth. Feel yourself supported by the earth and by the Sangha. And breathe. Breathing in, I'm aware, I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware, I'm breathing out. When you get distracted by thoughts and emotions, let it go, thinking, and return to the breath. Over and over again. When you notice your mind's wandered off, be happy, because that's a moment of awareness and a reason for joy. So now it's time for joys and concerns. Joys and concerns are it's a chance for everyone to share joy and concern with the Sangha as we share the good things, the bad things that happen in our lives. There'll be a microphone going around, so please raise your hand.
Now it's on. Hello, my name is Jueshin Su, or you can call me Shane. I have a few joys. First joy is, I'm going to be starting my new job, new promotion, same company on not next Monday, but the following Monday. So I got one more week. And I'm excited for that. And I also have been looking at a ring. Really excited for that. I don't think the special person is listening, so it's okay. But I want to share with the Sangha the joy of that, finding something and really making that next step. It's really love her. So thank you.
Good morning, Sangha. Ananda Pula Bhava. My joy was just today's Dharma talk. Like, it really got some really good, joyful from the gut laughs out of that. And I really needed that. So I really appreciated that. My concern is more just a sharing of, I've been experiencing like deep sorrow in my heart, like for a while now. It's really heavy, and I'm just kind of holding space for it. And so like I'm able to hold that and laugh, which is really great. I'm smiling now and still holding it. But I wanted to share that because if you guys could maybe hold some space for that, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Hello, Sangha. My name's Jack. I moved to Grand Rapids last Sunday, and I just want to share that. I was worried about making the move here. I have family out here, and I just feeling a lot of joy that I can reconnect with family, and I'm working a construction job with my cousin, so I'm employed in Grand Rapids as opposed to California, and I'm very grateful for that. And yeah, thank you, Sangha.
Hello, Sangha. I'm Mateo. I'm going to let the joy imply the concern. It is because of my mother's best friend that I am here and continuing a part of her legacy.
Morning, Sangha. My name's Eric. I have a concern. I have a friend who I've grown up with him since I was a little kid, and I got to visit him in Colorado, and he's been struggling with a lot of different addictions and family relationships, and I think he got kind of like kicked out of his house recently, so he's kind of bouncing around, having a hard time maintaining his job and stuff. So he's just going through a lot. We call each other every couple of weeks, and I just really hope that he can, try and pull it together and, yeah, just hold on to that friend for me.
Good morning. Yesterday, some friends and I got together in a park, and we thought it'd be kind of fun to mow the lawn and build a bench because there was a rotting bench there. And we did that. And I feel like we all got a lot closer, and I learned that there's a spot on my back that I couldn't reach with sunscreen. So that is my concern today. I have a concern that I would like to share with the entire Sangha today, which includes me, it includes you, it includes everybody in this room, it includes everybody watching online, and everybody who is being present elsewhere in the world. And the concern is not enough of us are actually seeing the real world around us. We are lost in our own minds and our own worries, and we're living in our own worlds, and we're not remembering to look up and look each other in the eye so that we can learn to see everybody around us, not as ourselves, but as themselves, how they see themselves, how they see their world, how they feel their world. And I worry about that because worry can go one of two ways. It can lead to fear of ourselves, fear of each other, fear of the world around us, or it could lead to love. And because so much of us are lost in our own worlds, we're fearing, and not enough of us are looking each other in the eye and loving everybody, including me, including you, including everybody in this room, everybody watching, and everybody in the world. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate. It comes from the heart, and that heart is love. Thank you.
Do we have any online?
Hi, everyone. My name is Chungo Su. I have two young children, 7 and 3 years old, and we had a soccer game yesterday. I'm coaching the soccer team. That's just always fun seeing the kids kind of run around. It's pretty chaotic, but they're having fun. And after that, I live in Lowell, and we went to the Lowell Pride Festival, and there was a really good turnout. And Lowell's kind of a small town, so it's just really cool to see the community come together and support one another. And in particular, there was a foam pit, if you will, for the children, and it was really awesome just to see like the kids playing in bubbles, like literally over their heads, and just being kids. And it was, just wanted to leave everyone with that visual for a moment. Thank you.
Let's take a few moments to sit with these joys and concerns. And we bow. Okay, so before close service, a few temple-related announcements. There's an online meditation group every Wednesday night. There's more details on that. I'm leading that for the summer, and that's from 7 p.m. to 7:45. It's on Zoom, yeah. And there's a link that's on the, you can find the link that's on the newsletter. Next is a Dharma discussion group, which I think is on break for the summer. Is it? Okay, Dharma discussion group's on break for the summer. Note to update the June announcements. There are Buddhist-based recovery meetings Mondays at 6:30 with meditation, and 7 o'clock for the meeting at the temple. Wednesdays, 7:30 at the Alano Club. Fridays, 10 o'clock meditation, and then 10:30 meeting at the temple, where you can join versus Zoom. And I believe that there is, did they move the Garfield Park for the summer? Okay, so yeah, you'll double check that, and we'll need to update the announcement in the newsletter. And is there? Yes, there's a mutual aid meeting today. And what time? Oh, right after the service, right after social hour, or 15 minutes. Come and see. Talk to Sunshine. Donna, announcements. Yes.
Somebody was long. That's true. My name is Ellen. In our practice, the word Dana means generosity, and there are many, many ways to practice that right here at the temple. We have a group of volunteers really organized now by Ashton. We actually have a name for this group, and it's called the Dharma Disciples, which is pretty cool. So if you're ever interested in helping out, maybe as a greeter, maybe with a tech group, all kinds of things, they only happen because somebody has volunteered and been generous with their time. So if you are interested in that kind of information, Ashton is your person to contact. We also periodically need dry goods. I love to get that into a sentence somehow because nobody uses that word anymore, but paper, tea bags, paper towels, those little lint things that they use to clean the cushions. Sometimes we need stuff like that, and it doesn't just mysteriously appear here. Someone brings it, again, practicing their generosity. Last of all is certainly what helps us keep the lights on and hopefully get the air conditioning working pretty soon. Financial support, being generous with whatever you can be generous with. We have Dana boxes at the end of each end of the Dharma hall. They take a check or cash. Each one has a QR code, which takes you directly to PayPal. If you go to our website, zengr.org, there's also a donate button there. Again, you're going to PayPal. And lastly, everybody at home today watching, there is a drop-down menu on YouTube that will also take you to PayPal. So whatever you can give, whenever you can give, that's all we ask. So thank you very much.
Time for a closing gathas.
Skillful action, ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thoughts, now I atone for it all. Vast is the robe of compassion, a formless field of benefaction. I wear the Buddhist teachings for the benefit of all sentient beings. All beings, one body, I vow to liberate. Endless my compassion, I vow to uproot. Dharma gates without number, I vow to enter. The great way of Buddha, I vow to attain.
Sangha, if you could please remove the handout from the back, that'd be great. Keep it for that.